Combination of jumping jacks and burpees. Burpees are by far one of the most effective exercises to get your heart rate up while also working your upper body and your lower body. Most people know how to do a jumping jack. Start standing straight up and then jump your feet out and raise your arms over your head. You're going to do that 5 times. Then you would perform the burpee by bending your back and lowering yourself down to the ground as you place your hands down on the floor. Next, you're going to jump your feet out and get into a push-up position. Then lower yourself for the push-up. Then you're going to hop your feet back in and jump up. If this is too advanced for you, you can walk your feet out 1 foot at a time instead of hopping. Regardless of whether you're a beginner or advanced, the sequence is 5 jumping jacks, 1 burpee, 5 jumping jacks, 1 burpee, back and forth. Next, we have the mountain climber sit-through drill. For this one, you're going to perform 4 mountain climbers for every 2 sit-throughs. Most people know how to do mountain climbers just like jumping jacks. These are the same mountain climbers that you've probably done in gym class. Every time that you hop one of your knees up to your chest, it counts as 1. So you shuffle your feet 4 times and then you do 2 sit-throughs. The sit-through is done by starting in a push-up position, then lifting one hand up off the ground and your opposite leg off the ground. Bring your hand up to your head and kick your opposite leg through as you turn your hips and your body enough for your butt to barely tap the ground. Then return back to the push-up position and repeat for the other side. Once you're done with those 2 sit-throughs, go right back into the mountain climbers. The next one is the plyo step up. This one not only is great for your footwork, balance, and coordination, but it's also a great exercise to burn a bunch of calories. All you need is a step below your knee level. You can use either a low chair or even the bottom stair ledge at your house. Start with 1 foot on the platform. Put your weight on that foot, and as you jump up, switch your feet. Do this back and forth, repeating for the full time. I know this doesn't sound like much, but like I said, you're going to be breathing pretty heavy after doing this one for 20 seconds straight, and especially after 8 rounds. If you have knee problems and can't jump up and down, you can just alternate stepping up side to side. Moving on to exercise number 4, the Spider-Man push-ups. This one does require a lot of upper body strength, so if you're a beginner, just stick to regular push-ups, or you can also do push-ups on your knees if regular push-ups are too hard. The key with all these exercises is to perform the exercise in the most intense way that you can and then regress as it gets harder. So you can start by doing a couple reps of the Spider-Man push-ups, and then when it gets too hard, you can move to regular push-ups, and finally when you start to fail and give out with those, you can drop to your knees for a few more forced reps. But the Spider-Man push-up is done by simply starting in a push-up position, and then as you come down for the push-up, bring one knee up to your elbow. Then come back up and repeat on the other side, back and forth. For the next exercise, we're bringing back the burpee again, but this time instead of doing jumping jacks, we're combining it with split squat jumps, otherwise known as plyometric lunges. Start standing straight up and jump into a lunge position. When in the lunge position, make sure your front knee is not going over your toes and you want your legs far enough apart to create what looks like a box between your legs. Then you want to jump and switch your front and your back foot. You only do this twice and then you go right into a burpee, which is done the same way as before. Hands on the ground, jump out into a push-up position, push up, and then hop back up. Guys, if this movement is too advanced, don't worry. You can just do 2 alternating lunges instead of jumping and then go down into a walkout burpee. Next, we have toe taps, which is another great footwork exercise that'll help you burn a lot of calories. You can use a basketball or any object about as high as a basketball. You can also use the bottom stair ledge like I recommended for the step-ups. For a regular step-up, you drive your weight forward, whereas for this one, you want to stand straight up and lean back a little bit. Then alternate between tapping one foot and the other on top of the ball or the step that you're using. To make this one more advanced, you can rotate clockwise and counterclockwise as you tap. Exercise number 7 is a tough one, so if you can't do it, don't worry, I'm going to give you guys a regression. It's called the Commando Full Body Jack. Once again, you're going to start in a push-up position, then you're going to lower yourself down to one elbow and then the other, then alternate and come back up on one hand and the other one, and return to that push-up position. Then finally, from the push-up position, jump your feet and your hands out wide like you're doing a horizontal jumping jack, and then jump them back in. Then repeat the entire movement going back down to the elbows, then up on the hands, then jump out and then back in. Like I said, This exercise is advanced. If you're a beginner, try to just do the first part of this exercise where you lower yourself down on your elbows and then come back up on your hands. Just remember to alternate sides every rep so you work both sides equally. For the next exercise, we're going to give you a round to recover by working the core with sprinter sit-ups. Start by lying flat on your back and keep your eyes and your chin towards the ceiling. Then crunch up with your elbows bent and bring your opposite leg up as well. This is different from a bicycle sit-up. You're not twisting to bring your elbow and your knee together. Instead, you're going straight up towards the ceiling. Most of you should be able to do this exercise with no problems, but for those of you that want to make it more advanced, you can keep both your feet off the ground at all times. Still perform the exercise the same way, but instead of returning your feet to a resting position on the ground, just leave them hovering a couple inches above the ground. Moving on, we only got 2 more to go. For number 9, we have squat thrust, which is once again one of those exercises that just doesn't look like much, but you will definitely feel winded and exhausted by the end of the rounds. To perform this exercise, start in a push-up position and jump your knees into your chest as if you're about to stand up after doing a burpee. Then jump your feet back out into a push-up position and repeat again and again. Sounds simple enough, right? Again, if you're a beginner, you just walk your feet out and then you just walk them back in, back and forth. For the final exercise, I want you to do sumo goblet squat pulses. Now in the video, you'll see John doing the exercise with a kettlebell in hand. You can use a weight, but you don't have to for this exercise to be effective. Start by spreading your feet wider than your shoulders and rotate your feet out at 45-degree angles. When squatting down, make sure you sit your hips back and stay on your heels, and don't allow your knees to cross over your toes. Get nice and low at about a 90-degree squat and then come back up, but only halfway up before going back down. Due to the fact that you never get to fully lock your legs out during the exercise, you'll definitely be feeling a serious burn. Try to push yourself to work through it. Again, if you want to combine all these exercises into one workout, simply do it by using on and off intervals. 20 seconds on and then 10 seconds off, then repeat each exercise for 8 rounds before taking a minute